like to introduce Reverend Ken Gordon, Senior Pastor of the House of Light Church in Burlington, New Jersey, and the author of a new book, Divorced But Still Dad, Faith Principles of Fatherhood for Divorced Men. Why did you decide to write this book?
Because it needed to be written. The thing that I understand, having gone through a divorce myself, is that when you divorce a person, specifically for men, when you divorce a wife, you don't divorce your children. And more than anything else, I wanted other people to learn from the mistakes that I made in my divorce and how, as a man, you have a responsibility to your children. So even though you're divorced, you should still be their dad.
Is this book only for divorced men?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. It is for divorced men, but it's for so many other people. The book really speaks to the responsibility of a man. But more than just speaking to the responsibility of a man, it also speaks to the interaction between the man and the woman, whether it is in a marriage, whether it is during a separation, whether it is during the divorce, or whether it is post-divorce. And it also speaks to the children and what children can expect and what they should look at when it comes to a divorce and what's going on in their lives relative to divorce. I do have to tell you though, within the book, the beginning of the book was written by my wife, who really directed it towards women and really encouraged them to look at certain things when they're looking for a mate. If you're dealing with someone who is a divorced man, here are the things that you need to look for in that divorced man. So she really directed it to women. There's also a chapter in there written by my daughter, and my daughter writes it to men. These are the things that as fathers we really want to know and wish someone would tell us about how the children are feeling. So aside from my wife and my daughter co-authoring this book with me, I really speak to children. There's an entire chapter where I speak directly to children, and I literally say to the parent, hand the book to the child and let them read it at this point. Yes. Interestingly enough, when I went through my divorce, I went looking for the kind of a book that could help me as a Christian, as someone who is a follower of Christ, to really apply the faith principles to the divorce itself.
Right.
And I couldn't find anything. I found books that were written by psychologists. I found books that were written by men who had gone through divorce. But as far as a book that really spoke to the biblical principles of divorce or post-divorce relationships with your children, there was nothing out there. And, for me, there was a gap that I needed to step into, not because I just want people to know my story, not because I just want to see my name in print, but because I want other men to succeed from where I failed.